You're watching Channel 7 Live with Success Strategies. I'm Anthony Kovic, your host. Tonight I have Poonamji, also known as Guruji. Guruji, thank you for coming today on the show, and we love what you've done so far. I've had an opportunity to meet you several times already. I've been to one of your events, and I love what you do. Just give me a quick little introduction about you and what you've been doing in the last little while. Well, okay.
Thank you, Anthony. Last little while is a big subject. Last little while, I begin from where? Well, I've been doing lots of things, you can say, in my life. In the last little while and in the long little while, the whole way. There's just one thing I've been doing, and that is helping people understand themselves.
Well, thank you, Guruji, for that. Now, we're going to start off with just some of the things that you've been doing. If you can, just give us a little brief description before we get into the full discussion of how these things help people. Now, awakening self is one of the things you do. Give us a little bit of what that is.
Well, you see, if you have to get a car running, you have to put the ignition key in and you got to start it.
Yes.
So if you've got to start understanding yourself, you first got to become awakened. So when I say awakening self, it is making you aware of what you truly want. Do you want it? And once you want to know your truth or your higher self, you understand what awakening is all about. Awakening is understanding your truth.
Now, you also do self-realization classes. What do you mean by self-realization? How does that help someone?
Well, you've done post-graduations, you've done graduations, you've done school, you've done so many things. And the one thing you didn't study was self.
Uh-huh.
You studied biology, chemistry, electronics, whatever else you might have. Self, if you do not understand self and how you relate to everything, where do you begin from?
Really? Okay. Now, visualization techniques, is that same as self-visualization, or is this something else?
No, visualizing is trying to, you picked up something, trying to look at yourself in your true perspectives, what you truly are, what you would like to be. So I teach you how to see yourself in all components of life.
Wow. Now I want to know a little bit about how did you get here? Were you always a guru, a teacher, or is that something that came together over years?
No, I was born with my gifts. I could shift, change, and heal people as a birth gift, so to say. I have this ability where I can shift and change energies for you.
Really? And did that start, when did you notice that you actually were able to start using that?
I was able to start using it when I met my spiritual teacher or my guru, who is Baba Sevanandaji, and he actually put me on to using this in this manner for the people. Before that, I was using it like by myself on friends and families and people around me, whoever was there, without paying attention to it, that what were the major differences that were happening to the people. They would feel relieved and it would be forgotten. But after I met my guru, he, you can say, consolidated this information and asked me to take it up as the main pathway of my life, to help and heal people, to set them free from where they were stuck, to assist them to progress, to open the light within them.
Now, do you remember around what age that was for you, in your childhood?
No, that I was healing all through my childhood.
Oh, so all through childhood you were
all
actually
through.
healing.
My earliest recollection is when I was 2 and 3, and in the kitchen, if the workers in the kitchen would cut their fingers and hands, I had a dress like dressed like a fairy.
Yes, yes.
With the wings and the wand that I loved wearing.
Uh-huh.
And I would go and touch my wand on them and tell them that this would heal instantaneously. And their cuts, burns, bruises, whatever they were, would heal much faster. Only thing is that we never paid much attention to it. I was the favorite of all the workers in the house, so they would come and, address and tell me that this was beautiful, but it was like specific attention was never paid to it.
So it's just, you were just a child at that time, having fun, doing your stuff, but, you didn't realize, and really no one realized that it was actually taking place, other than, they knew that something was happening, but it was just more like, you were there having a good time.
Yeah, like they might believe that it was because I came and told them that I'll heal it. So might be they thought they were pampering me, but it got healed. Nobody paid attention.
Wow.
It was like around the age of 11 when my maternal uncle came to visit us, and he pointed out that I had too many abilities, and my parents didn't want to believe, and they didn't want me to get involved with it much. But he left me all his books of palmistry and astrology and everything. And so from, you can say, those summer holidays onwards, I was actively giving advice to people which would make lots of changes in their lives as to what they were doing wrong. So we had a room set up where there was a chair, and I would sit on there and I would tell people how to resolve their problems.
Wow, so from basically when you were a teenager, you actually took this as a serious thing, implementing your gift.
Yes.
To help people in this area. And when did you meet your guru, the one that
somewhere in my late 20s.
So in your late 20s, you actually, now, some people don't understand the word guru. They, in America, it's kind of like mixed up. Give us your explanation as what the word guru means in the way of teaching and etc.
A guru would be a person who has risen above the vibratory frequency of the subconscious and permanently resides in their superconscious. In this superconscious state, they are way above. It's like they're floating above the general mass of the average people. So this vibratory frequency is much higher than even what the geniuses have if their vibration frequency is measured, because it is beyond a genius.
So there is they can measure the vibration frequency of a person's body?
Yes, there are, I believe, testing systems. I just recently in America met a fellow who said he had a meter, and it checked up to 1,000. So when he tried checking me, it would hit 1,000 and then it had no more place to go.
So you were hitting the maximum the meter had.
Yes.
Did he check other people there at that event?
Yes, he did. So the other people, he said he's met teachers, and the maximum that people vibrate at, according to his meter, is between the 5 and the 6. That is what he finds is the serious high teachers that he has met. And according to him, people vibrated 1 and 2 according to his meter, the one that he had. Now, obviously, I'm sure that if he has one, then there must be other people who have meters. I haven't met many.
Now, you're from the country of India.
Yes,
now,
absolutely.
Where in India is, you exactly from, like the town or the
no,
the
I
region?
was, you can say my father's family is from Punjab, so is my mother's family. My father's family, we are from the Maharaja Ranjit Singh's family. And from my mother's side, I am from the second Sikh Guru's family. So we're basically from Punjab. And I'm from the Sikh religion, but I don't follow any religion. I appreciate the teachings. I very much appreciate all the teachings of all the gurus, including Jesus, who's been a very good friend of mine. And my guru was from the Hindu religion. He was from South India, from Tamil Nadu. But I look upon the Hindu system as a scientific, as a very high-level scientific system that can explain things to you just in the form of pictures. And I do not follow it as a religion. But I appreciate it and I respect it for its values and the messages that it has enrolled in it.
Now, a lot of people have, in the spiritual way, realm, a lot of people have come from the region of India, that part of the world. Is there a reason for any of that?
Well, you can say that as the folklore goes, that the Himalayas have a very high vibratory frequencies, and too many people sit there and meditate and try to lift their energies up, and there are many people who would be living in various areas of those mountain ranges and just focused on meditation and on giving and on increasing the vibratory frequency of the world. So you have to visit it to see that it does have a different flow about it. But then each area is different. I'm here in Florida, it's different. I was in California, it was different. San Francisco was different. But the vibratory frequency has a different energy in it.
So every area you've traveled, you've
yes.
been finding that those areas have its own frequency, and the people in that area also have their own different frequencies in that
The way of thinking is different from one area to another. I mean, so you'll move out of the Tampa area and go about, say, 3 or 4 hours out. The people's view of thinking changes because the energy of that land changes.
Now, what kind of things begin the healing process that you use to help people do? You know what I'm saying?
Firstly, to get them to start thinking positive.
How important is that? Because thinking positive, I mean, if you go to the bookstore,
Yes.
there's a lot of
Books.
thinking positive stuff. And it's really, there aren't any books on thinking negative.
No.
So it's pretty much easy to think negative.
No, it's the other way around, you see. Where are you thinking positive from? So might be the way I could explain it is, I try to get people to lift their vibratory frequencies from the 200 or the 300 that they're sitting at and bring it at least up to the 500, and then start thinking in the positive, giving manner, first towards themselves, because unless self is recovered and complete, you can't give. You can only give what you have. So if you don't have that within yourself, you can't give it.
Now, how long do these sessions